Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I'm listening to everybody, particularly academics, on the Drake topic and on the album that he dropped. Um, and, I made a video talking about what I thought of it, and I haven't changed my mind in regards to it. There's a couple songs in there I'll continue to listen to, a couple songs I haven't. No big deal, but I think looking at what's going on is just understanding that Drake could drop anything, any type of song, any type of album, whatever, and people are going to listen to it and attract or be drawn to it in the same um, aggression as if it's a great album or an average album. It doesn't matter because he's moving the needle based on who he is. Now, if he continues to drop albums that people don't receive well, he can change the trajectory of that to a degree. But he's had a stranglehold on the game for so long to it doesn't really matter. I think that's the whole point of dropping an experimental album that, in my opinion, doesn't even seem like it's halfway done in some songs. Like there are several tracks that are excellent, but there are other tracks where you can tell, like a perfectionist like Drake, he knows that those some of them songs could be redone. He knows that some of those songs sound rushed. I hear that there was something in regards to his contract. I mean, this is supposed to be his last album on that label. If that is the case, you know, this reminds me of a situation where Lupe Fiasco had dropped Lasers and mentioned that he didn't necessarily feel the album, so to speak, but was trying to meet contractual obligations. And there were differences in regards to the creative, you know, uh, final say, I guess you can say. That kind of stuff happens behind the scenes, especially when you reach a level where Drake is. He's doing a lot of different things, and as people said, he spent a lot of times in different places. He's reaching a different echelon, signing bigger deals, and so it's allowing him to be, in circles where music is different, and he's getting a taste and understanding of what sound he wants to segue into, and I think that's what we saw. My thing was, he should have spent more time mastering the sound. That's just what I'm saying. Like you if you want to execute something like EDM, in order for it to be authentic, you got to do it a certain way. You can't just dip your toe in it. You have to surround yourself with people who can help you, master the sound for your own sake. And while he has a good tone, it got to a point where, like I said, it almost sounded like, he was in need of continuing to work on some of those vocals. So that's what I took from it. Overall, like I said, it was a C+ album, but even more so, I just take from it the understanding that the numbers are still going to be great. It's because he's Drake. It's going to be the greatest selling dance album probably ever, and it's just something you understand is going to come with the territory. He could do a country album next, and people are still going to pay attention to it. Now, like I said, they may not look at it the same way. They may say, Drake, we're not expecting you to come, right. Maybe people are expecting him to fail now, or waiting for him, waiting to hate what he's going to do. So he needs to be careful, in my opinion, to not fall into that lane. But, all in all, I think a lot of these songs are going to grow on you anyway. That's what I think is going to end up happening. We're going to hear these songs in certain settings. You're going to hear them at Met Galas and stuff like that. Different, um, you know, various festivals are going to be coming up over the next several months. You're going to hear a lot of these songs a lot of the time. And as I said, you're going to hear them in malls and things like that. And that's where a lot of these songs are supposed to be played, in my opinion. In those type of settings, slash when you're in your car, particularly a fast car, that kind of thing. Nighttime freeway music. That's how I look at it. So it's like, I think people have jumped to the conclusion that they have an opinion about this album as a collective. But when you start plucking out some of the songs on the album and start putting them on playlists and putting them in isolated situations, putting them on movies and stuff like that, you're gonna find out these songs they're gonna age very well. Not all of them, not all of them, but I think the ones that stand out will last like any other Drake music. To be completely honest with you, so that's my take on it. The songs that are on this album that I don't like, I really don't think are gonna do anything. To be honest with you, but like I said, there are certain songs um, that ultimately, I think he knocked it out of the park, and it's just gonna take a little while for people to get used to the music, especially in the way that it was dropped. Because when you drop something overnight, people expect a certain thing from you. If they don't get that, it's like, what is this? Not only were we not expecting this, but you dropped something we didn't know, uh, that we didn't ask for, that we didn't even want. So it's that type of energy. But some of these songs are going to be very strong over the years, I think. So we'll see, we'll see. Let people live with it a little while. You'll start seeing certain people try to steal some of the style from this album and do it in a different way to where it connects with people in ways that this one maybe didn't. Just because it's Drake, it's going to have that type of influence. So we'll see how it ages. That's my take on it. I wanted to bring a second take to the situation because I felt like just overall listening to how people are taken to the album, I think it's one of those things where it's like I think people come to a conclusion before they really let the music sit with them. And sometimes it's like, yo, I hear something once, I don't ever want to hear it again. But I think when you listen to an entire album, you take it all in, and a lot of times the things that are highlighted are the things that you didn't necessarily like. And I think that's what this album did, and a lot of people's ears didn't really take to it as a collective. But I started plucking some of the songs away from it, listening to them by themselves, and like I said, I found something. So it is what it is, man. It's about, I say, about 5 or 6 songs that really are really highlighted for me. So that's not great, but it is what it is. So that's what I wanted to say, man. So I'll talk about it a little more. Video 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.